And welcome back, Cody's Caravan. We are celebrating one of my favorite things. I love comic books. I love them so much, man. I love them.
I mean, everybody does, whether they know they do or not. There's so many properties that they watch on TV or in movies that they didn't even know were comic books. And so many, of course, that are, like all the beloved Marvel and DC.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we thought today we would go through the whole process. Now, we talked to David earlier, and he told us all sorts of tall tales about writing and what it's like to write, but he doesn't draw.
Yes.
Does not draw. So now we're going to talk to...
Luckily, we have some other people here, such as Oscar Romero, who is a great artist and has been working all morning on putting stuff together, and he's going to walk you through some art.
All right, let's do it, Oscar. It's good to see you, my friend. Now, you have a whole different process, because you put out these books, but you don't write these things. You're doing the artwork. So how does this work?
Correct. So I'm primarily a visual artist and don't consider myself a writer, didn't have any stories in the backlog. So when I decided to write a comic book or create a comic book, I started to adapt the first story that I remember liking. I was like, oh, there's this one story that pops in my head from a horror anthology. So I contacted whoever had the copyrights, and he was a grandson of the author, and the stories were written in the mid-20s. And he was very excited, enthusiastic, and offered me all his support. And you know, he let me adapt his grandfather's stories, and so that's what I did with this series of comics here.
That is fascinating. You gave new life to an old story, man. I love that. I love that idea. So talk to us about the process of doing the artwork. How does it work? Like, do you read the script and then think, okay, this is how it's going to work, or do you have to work a little bit differently because you are working with something from, you know, the 20s?
Yeah, so since it's already an established story, I read the short story, and as I read it, I kind of outline what I think would fit on a page, and then I go back and read the story again, and I edit it a little more, and then I take those edits and I make thumbnails, and then as I continue to proceed through the process, I'm continuously editing, and then those thumbnails turn into larger pages like I have here on the table. And then I ink them, and this is all physical. This is not digital. So I kind of like the physical aspect of creating artwork. So I thumbnails, then I put them on a larger paper with pencil, and then I go over the pencils with ink, and then I letter it, and then I have to design it and lay it out in a program, and then send it off to the printer. So it's a pretty long process, and I'm new to this, so I just started this during the pandemic, so it's a big learning curve, and I'm discovering the differences between painting on canvas, which is what I'm trained as, a representational painter, and creating comic books.
Yeah, I bet you that is quite a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Where can people find your stuff?
I'm showing up at local conventions. I'm going to be at the Lodi Comic Con this September. And also I have a website, poormansart.com is my hub for comics and my paintings as well.
Excellent. And let's go to that website, so he has to change it to Rich Man's Comics. Thank you very much for telling us about that. I had no idea how that process works, man. I'm really learning something. So coming up next, on the very end down there, we have not just a writer, but also an artist writer. He's going to tell us all about his process coming up. There you go. Stick around. We got more in the big show coming up. Don't go away.